and welcome to Dax Chats. In this episode, we're getting to speak to someone from the UK who was blown away by the success of her EP. And that is, of course, the name of her EP. The last time we spoke to her, her latest single was Whiplash. Well, she's got a new single coming out on the 20th of this month. And that's not all she's done. We're going to talk to her about that very soon. Of course, I'm talking about Charlotte Young. And today, Dax chats to Charlotte Young. And here she is. G'day, Charlotte.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How you doing?
I'm doing very, very well. So, look, last time we spoke, you know, you've had the EP out. The latest single was Whiplash. Everything was going crazy, and absolutely, you're blown away by the feedback you've been getting from the EP, which is called Blown Away. Definitely,
it's crazy.
You just mentioned you're on Pandora now. I just saw that.
I feel like that is quite an achievement because, you know, it's such a big network, so it's really cool to be on there. So anyone who listens to me in the States, it's another platform you can hear me on, so that's great.
Correct. Now after the success of that, you were working on other stuff yourself, but something else snuck in there, and you did a little duet with a wonderful guy named Bob Fitzgerald. Talk to us about the song. It's called Taking My Heart Away. Talk to us about that track.
Yeah, so it was actually so cool to do that because as an artist, it's really important to keep the content like coming out, but making sure it's good content. That's really important. And I love Bob. I love what he does. We've had releases like within a couple of weeks of each other, so I've always been keeping up with what Bob does. And he called me during lockdown in the UK, and he was like, I've got this idea, I want to do a lockdown duet, and I think you'd be great for it. Do you want to do it? And I was like, yeah, 100%. Like, love what Bob does. Love, you know, he told me that he was writing it and stuff, so I was really excited about that. And he sent me the file, and he was like, record the vocal and then send it to me, and we'll work through it together. And we'll release it as like almost like a surprise track. So it's completely for free. You know, we didn't push a pre-order on it. It was just a case of save it on Spotify and like listen to it wherever you can type thing. So it was really cool. It's sort of like this rocky, it gives me sort of Bon Jovi, Jennifer Nettles type thing. So yeah, it was really cool to do that, and it's really well received. People like yourself seem to really enjoy it, so it's great.
Absolutely blew my mind. I mean, that I believe when we received it, it became the DJ Dax hit pick. It was that
nice.
Good.
Love that.
So it did get high rotation for a week, based on just me personally just loving it. I was just like, wow.
No, it's really cool to see because like I love rock music in general. Like I grew up with Bon Jovi and Eagles and things like that. So for me, knowing Bob's style, it was cool to have like our mixture of like country and like country rock and have it mixed together. I thought it was really cool to do that. And it's also cool to see people who come from different backgrounds do duet. So it's really fun.
Yeah. And now Bob's just, as I said to you off camera, I've got to get to talk to Bob because I just think he's one in a million as far as country performers in the UK. I don't know many of them, but every time I think of Bob, I think that's excellence, you know.
100%. Yeah, he's so cool as well. He's such a funny guy, so I think you'll have a great chance speaking to him because he's got so much personality. He's so fun. So yeah.
So the next thing for you is coming out on the 20th of this month. It is a brand new track called Praying for Rain. Talk to us about the track. To me, I mean, I listened to it today. To me, it has several messages. I think obviously there's the message of loss and, you know, I've lost somebody. I've run, you know, you've run away and blah, but there's also this message of hope within it.
Yes. I'm really glad you picked that out because that's the type of thing that I was trying to convey with the song. So Praying for Rain, I think a lot of people are going to think what I thought, which is the fact that it is a little bit of a risk to take because there isn't really a market at the moment or a gap in the market for country ballads. Like when I was growing up, country ballads were quite a thing, especially like in the early 2000s, you know, with your Shania Twains and your Faith Hills and stuff like that. And I love a ballad. I absolutely love them. So I wrote the chorus to it when I was 15, completely forgot about the song for about 7 years, 7-8 years. And it came to me really randomly. And I was like, that chorus was great, but I don't remember the verses. So I rewrote the verses and it sort of became this story of, you know, someone who's watching someone walk away. They don't know what to do with it. And they're just praying for something, for clarity, for clear. And that's what the rain does. You know, rain washes everything away. And there is everything is so much clearer after the rain falls. It's the same type of thing of like the calm after the storm. So that's the inspiration behind it. And it was never going to be a single until I demoed it. And then as soon as I demoed it, I felt that it needed to be. Like it just sort of had this really powerful feeling. And I wanted to convey exactly what you said, which is loss and hope. And the fact that, you know, just because you may be at your worst point right now, it doesn't mean that it won't get better. And it's that type of thing.
That's very true. Absolutely. Great song. For those that haven't heard it, too bad.
It's going soon.
you just have to wait. You know, we haven't put it on the radio yet because obviously release day is on the 20th and we haven't been told by your management that we can have it on the radio earlier. So even though I've heard it, it is not playing yet, but it will be playing next Friday.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
Now then, apart from that, a week from then, which is the 27th of November, you have something else coming out that it's not just you. It's a collaboration between a whole heap of people, including Kyle Elliott from Nashville, Bob Fitzgerald again, plus a number of other people. Tell me about that. What is this project and what's happening?
Yeah, so this is basically it's a really lovely song, I think. And it's called I Won't Forget to Miss You. And it was written by a real talent called Tyler Spicer. He's a super musician. He's a great producer. And he's also an incredible songwriter. And I've got to write with him before. And I think he's a great guy. And basically, Tyler Spicer, my manager, Rachel, and a fabulous guy called Dom Crook, who runs Country Chat with Dom, which is a really cool podcast. They basically decided that they wanted to release a Christmas song. And they all wrote down their ideas of like artists that they would like on the track. And I happened to be in the mix. So did Kyle. And there's a great mixture of British country artists and American country artists. And it's sort of just like this blend. And I called it Country Band-Aid because it sort of feels like that type of thing, because it's like a big collaborative thing. But it's all about, you know, it's a testing time, and winter is lonely for a lot of people anyway. But in a year where we've seen a pandemic and we've seen a lot of loss and a lot of difficult things, it's sort of a message of hope. And, you know, you won't forget to think about those people. And it's all of the proceeds are going to an incredible charity called Mind, which focuses on mental health and mental health support, which with the message of the song, I think ties in really well.
Excellent. I mean, that's just fantastic. I haven't heard that one yet, but I knew I had to talk to you about it because I knew that it was something big. That one comes out on the 27th of November. And of course, once we receive that, it'll go into our Christmas playlist because we are running.
There you go.
Already. There you go. So, you know, news around the world, obviously, you know, things haven't been so good for Britain. What's happening with lockdowns again? How are you faring with that? And how are you faring with releasing music again in a second stage, second wave lockdown, you know?
Yeah, so it feels now that every time I release music, a lockdown gets announced, because I announced Praying for Rain, and then 5 days later the UK told the world that we were going back into lockdown on the 4th of November for a month, allegedly. I personally think it's likely to last until January. I think it's probably quite sensible. I'm excited because I think at the end of the day, people are back in lockdown. They're back at home.
Mm.
They're probably a bit bored with things that they've seen already. You know, they've watched all their shows. They've listened to all the songs that they've already had out. So I think in a way it's a good thing because everything I've released so far has been in lockdown. There's not been one song I haven't released where we haven't been in lockdown. So I'm looking forward to it. It's just a shame that we're still back here again. You know, I mean, there's certainly arguments to be had that could something have been done sooner, but you know, it's every country is going to be totally different. I just can't wait to actually go somewhere next year, like outside my house and like see people in the flesh and do some traveling, do some shows. So it could be worse.
You know, I think people underestimate how bad this situation is. And you know, obviously we're in the northern hemisphere, so we're getting into the cooler months again, and so it's going to flare back up. It's running the same type of pattern as the normal influenza virus. So as it gets colder, it intensifies, and as it gets warmer, it settles down. That's what's been happening. As you can see in the US now, the numbers are back up to over 100,000 a day because it's getting cooler. And it's just the weather patterns. I mean, that's what it is. We haven't got rid of it. China hasn't got rid of it. I was reading today that, you know, the city next to us, which is like 20 minutes away, you know, they've got bad breakouts in that city, and you know, they've got a different process of things than what we do here. And even where I am, it's pretty strict process. You know, you have to have, you know, an app to be able to come into the city. You know, you can walk around freely here. You know, there's no masks or no anything, but you know, people from outside can't just come into this city because, you know, they have to be tested, they have to have this, they have to have that. So I don't think the world's going to recover for at least another 2 years minimum.
I can see that. I mean, I think it's great news about the vaccine. You know, like there was some news that broke this week, which was it's a 90% success rate or something along those lines, which is great news. It's also great news for a lot of people to know that it's not the active vaccine, which is good. You know, there are certainly some people who can't have active vaccines because it contains the virus, but this one doesn't. So let's hope that this is the way forward. And in the UK, they've already released the list of who's going to be vaccinated first.
Okay.
They haven't said whether it's going to be mandatory yet. We don't know about that. I imagine it probably will be, just because of the scale of the thing, but we'll just see what happens.
Look, if it was a vaccine, see, the problem with flu vaccines, right? We have a flu shot. If you know, old people or, you know, people that, you know, are susceptible to the flu, they have a flu shot every year, right? So if it's one of those where you have to have it every year, there's no way the government can tell you it's mandatory, you know?
Yeah, I don't think they will.
If it's one of these vaccines, it's bang, okay, you're done. Or like, you know, like Hep C, you have to have it 3 times and then you're done. You know, that type of thing. Okay, I can handle that. You know, make it mandatory, and I'll do it. I'll do the jabs over a 12-month period, 3, 6, you know, whatever. That's fine. But if it's going to be every year, I don't think any government in the world can tell people you have to do this every year.
I agree. I think from what I heard, I might be wrong. From what I heard, it's a 2-step vaccine, similar to Hep C. Obviously, Hep C is 3, like you mentioned, but I believe it's a 2-stepper. And if that's the case, then, you know, I just think people are desperate for clarity, for some answers and stuff. And me personally, I'll have a vaccine. It doesn't bother me at all. I think that because it's not active, that's really good news, because people who usually a bit funny about vaccines will probably get some comfort out of it, because it's not the actual virus that you're being injected with.
That's true, because I mean, you think about, you know, if it isn't the active thing, you know, when you think about people like me, I'm of a certain age, and you know, my lungs may be susceptible, or you know, I feel healthy, but it doesn't mean that I am, you know. So if I had an active one, that actually had the virus as part of it, it may take hold, you know, and then I may end up with it. So I would never have one of those.
No, that's fair. I mean, like for me, because I've been lucky enough to do some travel, I don't care about vaccines. Like I have whatever I need to take. It doesn't really bother me at all. But I know there are some people, including people in my family, who can't necessarily have active vaccines because they're immunocompromised. If they had it, it could make them sick, and that's why they rely on the herd immunity. Correct. So fingers crossed, we'll get our answers. If it's a good vaccine, then we'll all be good to go, and then finally be able to do some shows.
Absolutely. But I think, you know, I don't think they're going to be rolling it out very quickly. They've got to make sure it's all above board and it's all been a government approved and medical board approved and everything like that, FDA approved, whichever company is going to approve it, it's all got to be approved. And then they've got to figure out the pricing, how much they're going to charge people, or whether it's going to be free, or whether it's going to be, you know, there's a lot of questions to be answered yet. And let's not keep talking about it, because I really want to hear what's coming for Charlotte Young. What have you got in the bag after this? What's 2021 looking like for you?
Yeah, so I mean, we'll touch some wood just in case, but I believe 2021 is going to be very exciting. Well, of course, we've got Praying for Rain coming out, and then we've got the Country Christmas, which is coming out the week after. So there's definitely great content coming from me, which is really fun. And early next year, you're going to see Charlotte Young EP number 2. So that's going to be really fun. Number 2. We've got a couple of plans with it. We're a bit unsure at the moment. It totally depends on what we're doing. But the next song you're going to hear after Praying for Rain, apart from the Christmas one, is very different. It's new. It's traditional. It's sort of got a little bit of everything. I think it's going to be something that people are surprised to hear from me. I will tell you what it's called. It's called On the Loose. I'm not going to tell you what date, purely because I don't know what date it's coming out yet. But it's a different side to what I do. And just because, you know, as a lover of music in general and country music, I don't want to do one style. I want to do a little bit of everything, but have like my main as a certain level, but then have a couple here and there. So that's why Praying for Rain's a ballad. That's why On the Loose is sort of honky tonky. So there's that stuff coming out.
Cool.
I should be doing some shows in Europe as long as I'm allowed to leave the country. So we'll see what happens. And I'm just going to take all the opportunities I can take. And whoever wants to hear me sing, I'll sing for them. So we'll see what happens.
Excellent. So, and you know, it's going to be an exciting year for both of us, I think, because I've got my first release coming out on the 5th of January next year. There you go.
Nice. That's cool.
Yes. Well,
I'll keep an eye out for that, Dax. You'll have to send me the pre-order.
It's not my first release. It's obviously my first release for 2021. But, you know, and again, like you just said, I'm sort of re-energized. You know, I've been doing all of this stuff with radio, and I've been doing all these interviews, and I just got re-energized by all of the support and all of the good vibes that are coming from all the artists. And I was like, I just need to go and record music again. I just need to go and do it.
There you go.
And so, yeah, David Daniel is coming back. And the first song is called Last Back Road, and it will be out on, and again, as you say, very different for me. I have gone into a more modern type country feel, but yeah,
nice.
Yeah, so it's going to be very interesting. I want to see how well it gets accepted. So Last Back Road.
Well, there you go.
5th of January. So there you go. So
add it to your diaries, people.
I'm looking forward to what you're doing, and I'm looking forward to what I'm doing. There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be really cool to hear it. And I mean, it's, you know, a risk to say, but I do believe 2021 is going to bring more joy than 2020. So, yes. Like, let's just hope that the trash fire that is 2020 settles down and we see a new age. And I do think because of everything everyone's had to face, there's going to be a true renaissance of music, I think, and of art in general. I think we're going to see a real rise in just great content off everybody. I think people are going to take the risks, because I think if this year has been anything, it's been just do what you love. Make sure you're putting something out that you care about.
And that's exactly right. I mean,
I'm excited.
Yeah, after all of this struggle of this year, I mean, that's the one thing that everybody, doesn't matter where you are and what you're doing, whether you're an author, whether you're a songwriter, whether you're an artist, it doesn't matter whether you're a grocery store owner. If it's something you love to do it with all your heart, like just reckless abandonment. That's what it is. Just go out and do it, because we don't know how short life is. And this pandemic has taught us that much.
100%. And I think people are just more accepting now, because I think people have finally realized that life's too short to be mean. Life's too short to be overly critical. And all you have to ask yourself is, did this person give everything to this record or this piece of art or this walk of life? Did they give everything? Are they happy? Are they hurting anyone? And if they're good answers, then just let them do it. And I think that's quite good, because you've got people who are just naturally more open-minded now, because you've had no choice to be. We've all had different phases through lockdown. There was a baking stage, there was a Netflix binge stage, there was a bit of everything. So I think people are just going to be better humans in 2021, or at least I hope so.
Yeah, so absolutely. You know what I'd like to see, obviously I'm a lot older than you, but I remember a time where, when I was growing up, probably in my early teens, I'd be able to walk down the street and people would just say hello to you. And
yeah, sure.
And that culture changed, sort of by the mid 90s, when telephones started coming in, mobile telephones started coming in, and then smart technology started coming in. Now everybody's got a phone in front of their face when they're walking down the street. So that generosity of humankind doesn't exist anymore. I would really love to see that come back, and just people being open and happy and polite to each other.
Yeah, I think there just needs to be a natural kindness back. And I'll be completely honest, I have actually seen that in my community, which is quite cool. I'd say it started to happen around April time, where like I would walk down the street and people that I've never seen in my life, no idea who they are, they've said hello, say hello back. There's been, you walk past someone in the supermarket and people are actually like, no, you go first. Like, I'll create space for you. Like, and that's really nice to see,
That's awesome.
And sometimes we just need a hard shock sometimes to make us realize that we need to be nicer to people.
Why does it have to be a pandemic to do it? I mean, like, why can't we?
Who knows? Who knows?
Anyway, lovely to talk to you. Look forward to the new track. The new track is called Praying for Rain. It does come out on the 20th of November. So everybody go out and pre-order it right now. Yes. All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. And I'm sure we'll speak again very soon.
Yes. Thank you very much, everyone. And thanks again, Dax, for talking to me.
No worries. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Charlotte Young. As I said, her new single, Praying for Rain, does come out on the 20th of this month. So please go and pre-save it on Spotify, Apple Music, pre-order it on iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, all of those places. And get into it. It's a great track. I have heard it and I love it. It will be playing on the Country Thunder Network as of Friday as well. So you can request it from our player on Friday. Just go to our website, which is right there, countrythundernetwork.com. And find the player, and you can request it straight from the player, and you can vote in the Country Thunder 20. Just follow our link tree links on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Country Thunder Net. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Fab APC, for coming on board. Thank you very much for doing that. And as always, we are proudly supported by Neon Horse in Stanhope, Victoria. Until next time, this is DJ Dax. You've been watching Dax Chats. Bye for now. You got that love, yeah, you got that style, and you're making my heart race a little further than a country mile.
take me back. You light my fire. Yes, you're the only one that can ignite this desire. So settle up, baby, get strapped